Came here, this is what's been a year and a half in the making, is getting to this place where the legend of Cropsey was given some weight. And that's what we're trying to figure out. This is why we're here, is to find out if the people who resided here, anybody who resided here, had anything to do with the kidnapping, possible murders of all these children, the definite murder of Jennifer, the possible kidnapping and murder of Holly Ann Hughes.
Hey, what about Alice? Huh?
What? What's the matter? What's the matter? Come on. What's wrong? What's going on? Holy crap. You guys, I just saw some. Oh my god. You guys, look, go. Everybody be quiet. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Now.
Go.
I can't even begin to explain the energy in here. I really can't. I don't even think that I've ever dealt with anything like what I feel in here. There is so much anger. Okay, stop.
Hey everybody, welcome to Do You Believe? A live broadcast. We are live, not pre-record, on ParanormalZoneTV. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Now, for those who may be new to the show, if you would please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And also, please don't forget to give the show a like. I've got an awesome show tonight. I am so excited. Tonight, my guests are Julia Saracusa, Vanessa Hogel, and Rachel Wagner. They are the threefold paranormal investigation team. And so with that, let's bring them on to the show. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. Hold on for a minute. Let me get the shot. Thanks for joining me. Hey. Hi. Now, Vanessa, Rachel, and Julia, I want you to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. So, Vanessa, let's start with you.
Okay, hi, Vanessa Hogel here. I am one-third of Threefold Paranormal, author, remote viewer, sensitive, doohickey type person, automatic drawer, and also co-host of my own show with my publisher and a return guest for Noreen shows. We have fun. That's me.
Yep.
Julia.
Yes. Hi, I'm Julia Saracusa. Some of you might know me from the Horsefly Chronicles. I created this team, Threefold Paranormal, to get answers on the legend of Cropsey. And here I am.
Rachel, darling.
I'm Rachel, originally from Staten Island, just like Julia. She asked me to be a part of her team, and since it's my hometown, I was more than happy to help.
Awesome. All right, now we're going to start the show with Julia Saracusa. Now, Julia, and then we'll go into the little bit of the history about Cropsey. Cropsey is one of my favorite topics. So, Julia, actually, who wants to start about who wants to do the bit about the history of Cropsey? Who would like to do that? Vanessa? Who?
I think Julia should do it.
Well, I'm going to have Julia tell her story as to why this actually came about.
Yeah, Vanessa, you could start with that.
Okay. Okay, the legend of Cropsey is actually, it's an urban legend. And that's kind of the funny part about this is it was the boogeyman story. It was what everybody told their kids at night so they wouldn't, stay out too late or talk to strangers or whatnot. And that legend was applied to a man named Andre Rand. Actually, his second name, I can't pronounce what he was called first before we changed it. It was applied to him because of his past, being a pedophile, a convicted pedophile, and the missing children of Staten Island. And so with his past, with how he was, with how people were afraid of him, that legend that had been around for decades before was applied to this man and still continues today, even though he's incarcerated.
Right. All right.
Weird, huh?
With that, now Julia, I want you to tell your story as to how this all came about.
Sure. Well, okay, one day, me, my husband, Phil Syracusa, and my friend, we were sitting in the living room, and the Legend of Cropsey came on. And I said to myself, I know this little girl. This little girl was in my class, Ann Hughes. I remember, like, it just started rushing back to me. And, you know, and then me and Phil were talking about it, and ever since then, I just started researching. You know, I was 7 years old when she went missing. I was a little girl, too. I really didn't remember too much. I remember that my little friend was gone. You know, the parents tried to, like, really not tell us that much of what's going on, other than we couldn't really stay outside anymore. So after that, I just started researching, and I went to my friend, Vanessa, and I had this vision in my mind to create a team to help me find Ann Hughes and all the other children that were missing. So I kept having visions, and I reached out to Vanessa, and she was more happy to help. You know, I did have to wait a while because she's very, very busy. And I waited because I knew that she was the one I wanted.
Hey, Julie, we only see your nose and mouth, honey. Can you bring the phone up?
We're going to get up
Okay. Vanessa, can you see me?
Oh, no, a little bit more.
Up?
All right. Well, that's better. The viewers want to see you. All right.
Is that okay?
No.
Can you see me now?
Well, okay, that's better. Right there. Don't move. Don't move. Now, Julia, you were having dreams because you had contacted me. You were having dreams of Holly, and you think that. Why do you think she was coming to? Does she want you to find her body? What did she want from you?
I was having visions. I honestly think that she knew that I can do it, and I have Phil, my husband, who has his own connections to the case that I really can't talk about. But I just honestly think that she knew that I can do it. And ever since I've seen the documentary, I started researching, and I just became obsessed with this case. And I started speaking to her.
And what were her? Can you tell us what she was saying to you?
Well, I started talking to her with the candle. I just started asking her questions of, you know, how she passed and how she died. And I just had this feeling that it was her. And, you know, I had I had a block on for so many years. And, you know, as of October 2016, I started to unblock myself because I started planning events for Horsefly. So as of then, things started coming to me more clearly, and I just started talking to her. And I would have visions of her speaking to me.
Mm-hmm. Julia, put the phone up higher, honey. They're complaining.
So,
I'm sorry, Julia. We want to see you. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm trying. I don't know what's going on tonight. Can you see me now?
No, you have to put the phone up higher, honey. So towards your
I
head.
mean, I can't go up any higher.
You can't?
No.
Hurts the feeling.
All right. All right. So how do you want to start the? How do you want to start this? I did show the video of you at Willowbrook, and you actually went into that building. I don't know if you're aware of it, but on that video, I think it's 37 seconds in or something. Do you remember that flashing light that was in the dark hallway down there? What was that all about? What was that all about?
That's very interesting. That was, Rachel, do you remember, that was the first building we went physically into, correct? And
Right, that was the first one.
it was weird because we were just drawn to it, you know? We wanted to experience this the best way that we possibly could, you know? And so we're trekking up those stairs, you know, bless them, the girls followed me. I love them for the shame. There's so much shame in there, and humiliation and embarrassment of just how they felt. You know, even if they didn't have the vernacular to express it properly, it was there in their minds and in their bodies, and they felt it. And that is imprinted in that building, in all of those buildings. But upstairs where we went, what needs to be explained is in that clip that everybody saw, the hallway where you see that blinking light, that is completely, there is nothing reflective. The opposite hallway where maybe light could get in through is busted out. And it's a huge hole in the wall. So a huge hole in the wall isn't going to put littles at the opposite end of a hallway. It's just not going to do it. And as soon as we saw those, Rachel and Julia can back me up on this. As soon as we saw those, we were like, nope. Gotta get out. Let's go. Gotta go. You know, it's so hard to explain exactly how it feels there. It's unreal.
Mm-hmm. All right. And now, Holly was abducted when, in 1981?
Yes.
Holly was, okay. And I have I have a picture of Holly and what she would look like today if she were still alive. The problem is, do you think that Holly is still alive?
No.
Absolutely not.
Holly's not alive.
What do you think happened to Holly?
Well, I think Holly was murdered in a terrible way.
If she's alive, she's a better psychic than I am to communicate with us the way that she did when we were there.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be so blunt about it, but that's the honest to goodness truth. To get the responses that we got while we were at certain locations, and they were responding as Holly, she would have to be the best psychic known to man to be able to do that and still be alive.
All right. So what are you? Can you tell us what Holly was saying to you?
A lot. Julia, Rachel, would you like to take this, or do you want me to?
She was very informative.
She was very helpful, very opinionated.
Very much.
In the questions that we were asking her in regards to her disappearance, and in regards to who might have been involved in her disappearance. And she was very receptive to Julia.
Yeah.
Very well.
We were at a particular place that we believe is a location of extreme importance. And at that location, we made contact with her again. And I don't know if anyone knows anything about EMF meters. I don't know dick about EMF meters, okay? Just being honest, you know me, Noreen, I shoot straight from the hip, all right? Yeah, I mean, you can put it all in my pinky nail what I know about that shit, okay? But I do know that they don't go from green to red just for shits and giggles. They don't do that. No, they don't. And it was doing it on command. When we would ask Holly a question and we would ask her to respond by going all the way red, she would do it. And she did that for Julia and talking to Julia. And it was amazing. It was heartbreaking.
Was there a certain location that she was in contact with you, or could you have gone anywhere on that site and still made contact with her?
Well, I think it was mostly the site where we were, contacting her, that we were able to speak to her.
The site
in one location.
In one location. So, do you believe that she's buried in that location?
I do. I do. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me? Okay? Can you see me? Okay?
We only see your mouth, honey.
Okay. I'm
There you
sorry,
go,
everybody.
right there.
I don't know what's going on. We're having technical difficulties.
No.
But I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Okay, bring it up a little bit. There you go, right there. Don't move.
Okay.
All right. Now, because you were in contact with Holly and she was telling you, I guess she was telling you where she was buried, did she say how she was killed?
There's so much that we want to say and can't. Vanessa?
What we can disclose, is that it isn't, well, that's exactly.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm in the basement, so
We're just going to ignore it, okay?
Yeah.
It isn't that she told us exactly how she died. She gave us a very good indicator that it was not an act that was committed by one person. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
correct.
And did she indicate that it was this Andre Rand that was the killer?
Rachel?
Rachel, how would you like to answer that, darling?
Oh, goodness. Well, I guess, I don't know, Julia, should I just say wait for the documentary?
Let's just say there was more than one.
Yes.
Can we say that? It was more than one.
So this Andre Rand wasn't, he committed these murders not by himself. There was somebody else with him.
Can I take this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's do a little background here. Okay. Andre Rand. Yes, he's a convicted sex offender. Absolutely. He did his time on that. He lived in the neighborhood after he did his time on that. Is he a bad man? Absolutely. This is not in any way, this is our disclaimer from Threefold. This is not in any way our chance to exonerate him or prove him innocent in any way. He is the least of our concern. However, this is the depiction that you have of Andre Rand via the internet and those willing to speak in Staten Island, is that he is a heterosexual, homosexual, pedophile who also likes necrophilia. And he's also a clinically diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, whom we were told did not trust the 10 voices in his head, so why would you trust anybody else? This is a direct quote from an interview that has to remain anonymous. Now, I don't know about y'all, but from what I've read and the doctors that I've spoken to about psychology, it is damn near an impossibility. It's almost a medical marvel to have all of that psychoses in one human brain.
Correct.
Heterosexuality, homosexuality, pedophilia, and necrophilia. Not to mention, we all know pedophiles have a specific type and age range that they prefer based on their sexual preference. So they're less likely to go from a 7-year-old child who's a girl to a 21-year-old man who has the mentality of a 15-year-old to one of the other things that's been tried to pin on him, a 48-year-old woman or 2 nurses. So you see where all the I's didn't get dotted and all the T's didn't get crossed. And as we were on Staten Island trying to obtain what paranormal evidence we could, as we're getting this information from Spirit and we're finding out this information, the other information legally, you can see where it went from a paranormal investigation to a legal investigation, which is why we have to be very careful about certain things that we say.
Okay, now you're
Yes.
saying, okay, now wait a minute, now you're saying legal. How has this become legal?
It becomes legal in the fact that if he did not do it, we're not saying he didn't do other things. What we're saying is if he did not do it, why was he convicted on strictly circumstantial evidence? There is not one shred of found evidence linking him to these kidnappings, Jennifer Schwaggert's murder, the disappearance of the other children. There is not one thread of evidence that can be found.
Was he convicted of Jennifer's murder?
Kidnapping.
Her kidnapping. He kidnapped. Yeah, not her murder.
But they did find her body, didn't they?
After it had been buried for the second time.
Yeah.
After the fact, yes.
Yes.
Um,
They had already searched the property, Noreen. That's important to be known. And we're not saying anything that you can't find on the internet right there.
Yeah.
They had already searched that property prior. They went back out, which they did not do for any of the other victims that we can find. Is that correct, girls?
Right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yes.
Right.
There was no multiple searches for everybody else, okay? The second time they went out in search of Jennifer Swaggart's body was when they found her in the exact location they had already searched. This time, she is in a shallow grave.
Oh.
Very shallow, fresh grave.
Now, were you able to visit that area where Jennifer was found? Do you know the whereabouts on that property?
We were all over Willowbrook, but what people need to understand is not like, maybe we went at the wrong time, but you can pull up different, urban exploring videos that people did, and they went in the fall when nothing's growing and everything's all dead, right? Well, we went in the middle of freaking July when everything is at its lushest, and you're
So-
literally at your waist high.
Yeah.
If you try to go back into those areas. Can you see where people have camped? Yes. If they ever decide to level that area, there's going to be a whole lot of skeletons. Because
Yeah.
people have been dying on that property since then.
And let's mention the tree tagging. Every single tree had a tag on it, which means that they're looking to tear it down.
Exactly.
And I'm still researching some of that.
Yeah, and actually Rachel pointed that out to me, and I couldn't believe it.
There are quite a few children that are missing from Staten Island.
Yes.
Are there about 11 of them that may be connected to this Andre Rand?
I think there's 4. There's
Yeah.
4, and then there's 2 nurses, if I'm correct. Right? There's 4 children, and then 2 nurses. One's actually not a child. He is 21 years old, Hank, and he had the mentality of a 15-year-old.
Number 6.
Now, I believe also that the children that disappeared, or bodies, and I don't know how many bodies were found, that they were all mentally handicapped.
Not all.
Not all.
Not all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holly was not handicapped. Alice was not handicapped. Tyrese had some medical history, but I wouldn't call her handicapped. She had asthma, and she was on medicine for a kidney problem. She had a learning disability.
Okay,
But-
well,
Handicapped? No.
By
Hank-
today's standards, no. By their standards, then possibly.
True. By their standards, possible. Yes, that is true.
okay.
Can you see me? Can you guys see me?
Yeah. When you went to Willowbrook, your intent was to communicate with Holly, but did you also connect with the other missing children that have never been found?
Yes.
And
Yes.
are you able to tell us about that?
I only felt one of the missing children on that property, and that was Thais.
Yeah.
And I really did feel that she's on that property. I'm not saying that it's Andre Rand who took her, but I do feel that she was and possibly still is on that property. Most definitely.
Is that
But Hank, Alice, or anyone else, no.
is that the Jackson girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to
Yes.
show a picture of her. Okay, so she was 10 when she went missing, and you were in contact with her on that property.
You could feel her. You could feel her there. I mean, there was just no getting around it. I mean, looked over to Julia and Rachel. I'm like, Thais is here. But I did not feel Hank. I did not feel Alice. I didn't feel Holly, but we did do a pendulum session and actually communicated with her. But you can communicate with them when they're not right there on the property. So that's not indicative of her being there. didn't feel her energy there at all. Where we went later, she was all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely.
You know, I have a 2-minute clip of that pendulum session that you did at Phil and Julia's Syracuse's home. I would really like to show the viewers that because it's connected to their investigation. And for those who may not know Julia Syracusa, she's married to Phil Syracusa, and they are the ones that have the Horsefly Chronicles case, the demonic house that's quite haunted. And there is a portal. You want to talk about the portal in the basement? It was to where you were when you did this pendulum session?
Do you want me to talk about the portal in the basement?
Yeah, just a little bit on it since we're really talking about Cropsey. Go ahead and tell them. And then I'm going to show them the clip. I hope you enjoy the clip.
In all honesty, Julia and Phil were so unbelievably sweet to let me go into the portal room a different way than anyone else I believe ever has. Is that correct, Julia?
Yes, that's correct.
The whole intent of going in there wasn't to prove or disprove anything going on in their home. It was strictly to communicate with spirits that I thought might be able to help us locate Holly. And so the clip that you're going to show them is exactly what that is. And it's a pendulum session trying to communicate with Holly in their basement.
Okay. Now, viewers, you have to understand it was a 16-minute video, and I had to cut it down. I couldn't show a 16-minute video. So it's just 2 minutes, and I'm going to show it to you, and I hope you enjoy it. Here it goes.
Clockwise means yes, counterclockwise means no. So we are actually trying to find answers in regards to the disappearance and possible murder of Holly Ann Hughes, July 15th, 1981. She went missing at 9:30 p.m.
What's that?
in Staten Island, New York, and she was walking to the gully to get a bar of soap. Am I on the right track, believing that Andre Rand did not kidnap and murder Holly Ann Hughes? That is a clockwise. That means yes. Holly, are you here?
So that would be Holly Ann Hughes?
That's Holly. Holly, you kept me up the other night with a strange noise in my bedroom, all the way in Oklahoma. I felt like that was maybe something from a junkyard where they crush up cars and stuff. Is that where you are? Are you seeing that? Holly, did Andre Rand kidnap you and murder you? I need to know if we will be successful in finding any evidence of these children and where they're at. Clockwise for yes, counterclockwise for no, please. Sarah, I have had a song in my head that is making me think that somebody with Puerto Rican ties might be associated with these murders or with these disappearances of these children. Am I on the right track with that? That was a yes. I need to know if I am correct in saying that this is a cover-up and that there are multiple people involved in the disappearance of these children. That's a definite yes.
Yep.
Your last question, sir?
Sarah, do you know Holly Ann Hughes and Jennifer Swaggart, the two young girls that were murdered in the 80s in Staten Island?
Yes.
Oh boy. Good times.
What's going on over there? I'm hearing all kinds of noises.
Noreen, I don't know. I just hope you guys can see me okay.
Well, right there, don't move. Come down a little bit more. I mean, go up a little bit. What the heck? Is that coming from Julia? Oh my God. Oh my God, Julia. Can you hear us? Maybe she ought to get out of that basement.
That's where the best signal is.
Yeah, she knows.
Oh my God! We have Tammy Heitzman wants to know, when are you going to reveal? Let's see. When will they be revealing everything that you learned there?
We're working on it.
Yeah, there's so much footage. There's so much footage, and we don't want to miss anything. Rachel has done an amazing job going back through stuff that we've gotten, and actually found EVP after EVP after EVP. Because I see here people wanting EVPs too.
I have two EVPs from. I captured. We have two EVPs from from their 16-minute video. Now I also. At the bottom of the video on YouTube, I have a link to Vanessa's YouTube channel, to the full video of the pendulum, the full video of 16-minute video of her their investigation at Willowbrook. But I did take out 2 clips of EVPs that we have. But you can watch those full-length videos on Vanessa's YouTube channel. Also, Joanne Gray is asking, you guys see the movie The Changeling with, Joel, what the heck is her name? Jolene, what is her name?
I've never seen it. I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen it.
Well, I saw the movie.
I've seen both of them. There were 2 Changeling movies. I've seen both.
Oh, well, I've got the original. You guys, oh my God! But with Jolene, whatever her last name is, I can't remember. Angelina Jolie. You know that I don't think there is any connection with Andre Rand and Willowbrook, and this man that kidnapped those kids, and I think he was killing them as well. There really isn't a connection. You can read the full story if you search the web on Cropsey, the urban legend. And actually that urban legend started years ago at campfires and camps. They would talk about this Cropsey. So nobody owns that name Cropsey.
No, it was a legend.
Yeah.
It was a legend that parents used to, keep their kids in the house.
Right.
Don't come home at a certain time or the boogeyman's going to get you. Come home, go to bed at this time or the boogeyman's going to get you. I don't know. That would have scared me, but that's what they used. It was a legend. And then it really was kind of true because there was people out there doing those things.
Well, that Andre Rand is known as the boogeyman of Staten Island. They said he terrorized
He is. This is correct.
But let's okay, y'all open the door on that. Let's hop on down there, okay? Okay, so Andre Rand was the boogeyman. Alright, we're all on the same page on that, right? So, Noreen, let me ask you.
Yeah.
If you lived in an apartment building and you knew that the boogeyman stayed with his aunt, and the boogeyman had a record for being a pedophile, how likely would it be that you would allow your 7-year-old daughter, if you had one, to leave the house at 9:30 at night to go and buy a bar of soap?
Well, now wait a minute. This was in the 1980s. And in the 1980s, I don't think that there was a fear that people have today about locking your doors and closing your windows.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree on that only because my mother would never let me out. So,
Well, wait a minute, I didn't finish.
Maybe bad parenting?
No.
Bad parenting?
Right, but the thing is, some parents, I don't think, use their head about letting their child out at 9 o'clock at night. And I don't know how close the grocery store was to it was an apartment that they lived in?
Yes.
Okay. But Andre, didn't he live in Willowbrook? He camped out by the hospital?
He was homeless. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Right. So
he was staying with his aunt in the same building. And here's the thing. This is my point, Noreen. Okay, Holly was taken July 15th, 1981 at 9:30 p.m. at night. We were actually on Staten Island 36 years to the day of her disappearance.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the killer point. This is the point I'm trying to make. Is he wasn't convicted of her kidnapping till 2004. 1981 to 2004.
All right,
And the reason he was convicted was because a whole bunch of people who were alcoholics and used to take a bunch of drugs all of a sudden found Jesus and their memories.
Yes.
And they were saying that he was always the one that everybody was warned about, and that he was the one that nobody would go around, and he was known as the neighborhood crazy. So, if he was known as the neighborhood crazy with a record for pedophilia, why would you allow your 7-year-old daughter in a swimsuit to walk out of your home at night to go get soap?
Were her parents aware of this fella? Were they aware of him?
Oh yes. Oh yes. That's a lot of the mystery too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, me, no. I mean, I wouldn't let my kids out of my sight. Hell no. And no, I wouldn't do that. But so, were the parents, were they ever questioned as to why they allowed that to happen? Is there any record of that?
Oh well, they were suspects at first, and they were questioned and they were ruled out as suspects. So.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what else do you want to talk about your investigation over at Willowbrook?
I would love to talk about the cemetery and where we were looking for Jennifer Swagger's grave. Rachel, do you wanna
Please.
Jennifer was actually buried in New Jersey. We looked her up online, found where she was buried, and it was about 45 minutes from where we were on Staten Island. So we decided one evening that we were going to go ahead and take a trip out to New Jersey to the cemetery. And that was very eventful.
Let's just say it took us 3 hours to find Jennifer Swagger's grave because
She likes to play hide and seek.
exactly, she was taking us all around the cemetery, which is a very large cemetery, but Jennifer Swagger had Down syndrome. She likes to play around. She was playing hide and seek with us the whole entire time, which we did not know. I'm getting chills.
Which it really turned out to be fun, until all of our life now.
3 hours in the cemetery, yeah, it was fun.
But we ended up finding her, Noreen. Actually, Rachel, bless her, if we didn't have Rachel, we would have never known that the what we thought was a headstone was actually a marker for a mausoleum. And we were able to find her in the mausoleum with a little help, a little aid from
Phil.
Yes.
There was a time where we were very, very confused. There was a time where I was lost and I needed help. So I had to call my husband for spiritual advice, and he directed us to where she was, and then Vanessa was guided right to her hospital.
Because her mother and her father and her grandmother, I believe her grandmother, are right there with her. Now, it does need to be stated that we also did, and you don't have the footage on this, but it will be in the documentary, which I've been in the chat. I know people are asking what it's going to be, because we can, you want it good, right? You don't want to poo. But we did a pendulum session, and Jennifer was very adamant that what is believed to be the reasoning behind her disappearance is not factual.
Correct.
She was very adamant about that. Very adamant about that.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I figure if anybody knows, she does. We maybe not so much. We might, just be going off of weird gut feelings or whatever. She knows. And it also does need to be mentioned mentioned, and Rachel, I hope it's okay if I bring this up. I should have asked you beforehand, but I went to Staten Island with a notebook.
Oh.
And that notebook was the drawings of 3 separate men that I saw possibly connected to this case. And Rachel looked through the notebook, and you can see the look on her face right now. When Rachel was younger and lived on Staten Island, somebody tried to take her. And she was one of the lucky ones that got away. And she identified the 3rd picture in my notebook as the man who did it.
Wow. No, really?
Yes.
Wow. Damn.
You don't forget a face like that.
No.
I didn't want you to start crying, honey, so that's why I didn't tell you now.
It was very emotional for her.
All right, I have 2 EVPs I'll play for the viewers. All right, so it's the one with the little girl's voice that says Cropsey. All right?
Once you hear it, you can't not hear it.
All right, so I'm going to play this now. This is an EVP, and it's a little girl. Well, you'll see it. You'll hear it. Do you want to set that up, Vanessa?
Yes, I do actually. Okay, we had just topped the hill that we had to climb up this steep hill to get onto Willowbrook property via our own little private entrance. And we had just gotten through the brush and had seen our first building. And we're just in awe. Like I said, you're just overwhelmed at that point. And what I want people to listen for is I make the statement where the legend of Cropsey was given some weight. 2 seconds, and then they will hear it. And I need everybody to turn up their volume, because once they hear it, they'll never get the voice out of their head.
All right.
Never.
All right, here we go. Listen, it's 7 seconds, so listen closely. Oops, wait a minute.
It's getting to this place where the legend of Cropsey was given some weight.
There, I just played it. Now, what about the second one with the heavy breathing? I have another EVP.
That one, I definitely want to address this, because Blush and Noreen, you put a small clip of this up on your channel, and I believe the comment was, "That's you breathing, you don't." Well, see, here's these 2 chicas right here on the show that were standing right next to me and can verify that was not me. You know what? I might be a chunky little fucker, but I'm not doing heavy breathing like that.
No, it was not her.
It's not me. What that is you hear this very sharp, very masculine, long intake of breath. And directly after, I'm telling the girls we need to watch out, because there's huffers here. People who will use a spray can of paint or whatever, they'll spray it into a bag and breathe it in through their mouth, not their nose, okay? They'll breathe it in through their mouth. It's called huffing. And that is the sound that you hear right before I tell them about huffing. It's undeniable. It's not me, by the way.
All right.
No, it's not.
This one is also.
Okay.
This one's
Can
also.
you guys see me? Because I'm just getting tons of messages from my friends.
No,
I
No?
can see you.
no. We only see your nose and mouth.
Rachel, you can see me?
I can see your head to your chest.
Okay, but
Bring
you
it up
guys
a
have to
little bit.
understand. On camera, we only see her nose and mouth.
Bring it up.
I don't know what's going on. I apologize, everyone. I can see myself perfectly, so I'm doing the best that I can.
There. Stay there.
Right
no,
there?
no,
Right there.
no, not for me. For me, she has to move her phone up toward her top of her head. I only see her nose and mouth. If you bend,
See,
maybe if you
it's
bend
not-
down, right there. If you
My
bend
arm
down.
can't go up anymore.
No, but bend your head down. Bend your head down. Yeah. Yeah. Yay, there she is. All right, now I'm going to play this clip. Right there, honey. Okay, I'm going to play the clip. This is the heavy breathing. Here we
Okay.
go. 7 seconds. So listen.
See. Not in that building that I can feel, but on the grounds, most definitely. See. Not in that building that I can feel, but on the grounds, most definitely. See. Not in that building that I can feel, but on the grounds, most definitely. See. Not in that.
Okay. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about your investigation and tell the viewers?
Do we want to talk about Joseph?
Yes.
That was something that, and Rachel, I'm going to need you to hop in here too, because we stayed in constant. Cha-Cha, Mama, take you in a minute. We stayed in constant contact with Phil because this is something that we talked about last night that I don't think a lot of people realize. I didn't know it. I don't think Julia or Rachel really knew it to this extent, but it isn't just about us communicating with spirits. It's about spirits communicating with each other to help us.
Spirits that have nothing to do with the case as well.
Nothing to do with the case. But that was a first for me. And I've been through some crap, and that was the first for me. I'd never experienced that. And one of Phil's spirits told us that we needed to go to Richmond Town, Staten Island, and go to the cemetery at the bottom of Snake Hill Drive. And we hit the wrong one first. And so then which was a different cemetery. So we went to the one we were supposed to go to, and we walked into the cemetery in one way, and made our way over because he said that it would be near water that we needed to go to, and there's this little stream there, and we went there, and I got the name Joseph because I guess that's who we were supposed to talk to. I don't know. So Joseph is talking to us, and we've got the EMF detector going, spirit box going, and he's having himself a nice, good little chat with us, and with the EMF and stuff. And he leads me over to a bridge, one of the decorative bridges that it's like it goes over water, but there's no water. And so I climbed up on that, we're talking to him, then we go sit down for a minute on a little bench talking to him, and then by this time we all have to eat, we're hungry. So we go to leave. We figure we've got as much as we can get. So we go to walk out of the cemetery a different way. And I turn left down this aisle of headstones, and I hear Rachel behind me go, or something like that, And yeah. and Rachel, take it from there.
I was actually following Vanessa as she was doing the spirit box and the EMF up onto the bridge, and had noticed that the bridge was dedicated. It was either by or dedicated to a Joseph, and
I didn't know that.
No, she was ahead of me and she didn't see the little plaque that was up, and she just had turned randomly, and I looked down when she turned, and it just so happened that the same Joseph that the bridge was dedicated to or for or by was the same headstone that we were looking at.
Yes. It was wild.
Yeah, and at that point I was just like, yeah, I'm good. We gotta go. Because, it's one thing when you know you can do this, and Julia and Rachel, I know, feel the same way. You know you can do this. You know that you have certain abilities. You know that. It's a whole other situation when you get them confirmed. If it still doesn't freak you out, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
It still freaks me out, and these are spirits that are communicating with each other in the netherworld, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Oh boy.
To help us. And it was humbling. That's the best way I can put it. It was humbling.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. You were brave to go to Willowbrook. I would have been scared to death.
Maureen, let's let's just say that every time I go back to Staten Island, it will never be the same for me again. And my family's there. I go there quite often. I've never went there, I guess, investigating and, you know, going into what I went into, and I'll never look at it in the same way. It will stay with me for the rest of my life of what we went through that night. I mean, during the whole investigation.
Well, and hey, because of what you just said, let's bring something else up. Because I'm not certain if anyone on this show knows about this, but the whole time we were there, Noreen, we were followed.
Yes, exactly.
By who?
Followed.
By who?
Well, let's go back to the cemetery when we found Jennifer Swagger. What happened then?
Rachel, tell them.
Well, we kind of had a little bit of backup, so to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was very against. In the beginning, I wanted security because I felt like maybe we needed it. But then I wanted just the team to do this. I said, you know, me and Vanessa talked and we said, we don't need security. But we ended up having a little bit of help. Go ahead, Rachel.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
When we had finished up at the cemetery with Jennifer, we met up with my boyfriend George, and
We didn't know he was there watching us and, you know, keeping an eye out for.
Right, he had our back that night, and he was, you know, sure everything stayed on the up and up, and all that good stuff. But when we left, and when he left, he was actually followed by 2 separate vehicles. Went through, 4 neighborhoods to try to get rid of these people that were following him. He even got tag numbers, vehicle descriptions, the whole 9 yards. But was, you know, he was eventually able to get rid of them. But had it not been that he was there, they may have been following us.
Absolutely.
And we would be standing on the street corner at in Port Richmond, right there a block away from where Holly Ann was abducted, allegedly, and where she disappeared from. And the cops would drive by and blast their sirens at us. There were people driving by with their cameras doing this, filming us. I had somebody who had agreed to an interview, an on-camera interview. Totally cool with everybody hearing everything he had to say about that. Talked to him for 2 days about it until the person he was with found out what he was going to do. By the time that happened, when I was supposed to call him, he wouldn't return my calls, and he's walking out of the hotel like this.
Oh my
Actually
God.
dodged us. We're walking back into the hotel from having a cigarette. He's walking out hiding his face.
Why? Why do you think that's happening?
Well,
Very hot.
if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, odds
It's
are
duck.
it's not duck.
Well,
not duck.
okay, but what is this thing with Willowbrook? What is this thing? Is it possible that there's other bodies buried there?
I'm going to put it as plainly as I can, and I think the girls are okay with me saying this. If the wrong person, or if not all of the people who were involved in this, are being put away, why? Why? Why was only one body found? Why was only one body searched for multiple times? I will tell you what an anonymous source told us. Well, Holly Ann Hughes was a poor little white girl from Port Richmond.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were told. That is a verbatim quote. I mean, little air quotes and everything. Yeah, that's what we were told. She was
But Vanessa, but wait a minute. You know, this nobody really goes over to that property. They're not doing anything with it. And why Willowbrook is still standing or the ruins are still there, I don't know. But if it's possible that it might be a dumping ground for murder victims and being buried there. It could be anything, gangs, mob, anything.
Could be.
Yes, ma'am. And don't forget where this is. It's Staten Island, New York. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Well, and I mean, let's face it. Again, it's something that we talked about the other night. It is, I've talked to a few ghosts in my time. We all know that. A couple of little chats. I have never in my life been in a place where you have your group of spirits that want to talk to you, and then you've got your good fellas who are like, you ain't part of the family. Yeah, very hush hush. So hush hush that when I came home, everything was okay for about a week, and then what was it? Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Saturday broke my toe. Sunday I fell up the stairs, bruising my ribs, hurting my knees, twisting my back. Monday, half-inch gash all the way down to the bone on my thumb.
Oh my God.
Couldn't tell you how I did any of them, really, when it comes right down to it. And I actually had to ask for spiritual help.
Wow.
And I have been better ever since, which tells me probably had a pretty decent attachment. I did a vlog on it calling it paranormal Chinese food because it's really regional. I mean, spirits are regional. The way they behave, the way that they talk to you, the way that they communicate is completely different. And Staten Island is very much the spirits are like what you would see in movies when it comes to Goodfellas, The Bronx Tale, things like that. There's a pecking order. There's a chain of command. There's all of that. And I don't even think they were trying to get us to not find Holly's body or Hank's or Thais's or anyone else's. I think they were afraid of us finding other bodies.
Or the truth.
I had aired a show on this. I've aired 2 shows on Cropsey. And one of the shows I remember showing a picture and reading about, there's like underground tunnel, there's like tunnels and there's like underground underneath, in a cave or something by Willowbrook, or maybe in Willowbrook underneath. And when they were rummaging through, because somebody had been camping out there, they found bars of soap. They found cooking utensils, and they also found a little girl's underwear. What do you know about that?
Juliet.
You always do that.
I don't want to monopolize.
You say it. You got it.
It would not be unheard of if you had people that were looking to Willowbrook to be their hidey hole, their hiding spot. There was something very sinister. I will not say demonic, but I will say sinister in one of the buildings that was trying to get me to go underground. And it was the only building that I truly felt threatened in. Rachel felt threatened in it. Julia felt threatened in it. It was just not a good building. And if I bet you dollars to donuts that is the building that you use to get to those underground tunnels. At least one of them.
What Andre Rand did, he used to use the tunnels to get to the school itself, to take the children through the tunnels, and they were never seen again, and no one missed them. No one knew they were gone.
Well, the thing is, but it needs to be listed that he wasn't the only one who used those tunnels.
Yeah.
Far from it, because those tunnels were being used after he was convicted, which brings up another point. We spoke to somebody who did not move to Staten Island until 1991. This is years after he was imprisoned in 1988. Now, if he was Cropsey, if he is who everyone claiming was Cropsey, and he was convicted and sentenced and imprisoned in 1988, why in 1991 were they still trying to implement a curfew? And why were parents still warning their children about Cropsey?
Interesting.
Food for thought much?
Are you going to cover all of that in your documentary that you make? I assume you are. Yeah. Awesome. Oh my God, that is so interesting, and I know there's so much more to this story, and you told us what you could, and I appreciate it, and I understand, you know, that you're going to make this documentary, and you don't want to give all the information away, but I certainly will look forward to that documentary. And girls, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. This is one of my favorite topics, and my favorite people here to talk about it. Thank you so much.
I'll say something, just one thing,
Sure.
and because everybody's still in the chat, and I think everybody needs to hear this. Just give me 2 seconds here.
Sure.
The documentary will come out as quickly as we can get it, but I want everybody to know, Julia and Rachel wants everybody to know, this documentary isn't about us, with the exception of Julia's connection to it, her childhood connection to one of the victims, to one of the missing children. The sole purpose of doing this video, this documentary, is to bring awareness and opening up some eyes to these missing children, and in hopes that it will cause people in other states to do the same, to start questioning, hey, have all the I's been dotted and the T's been crossed? Why are we forgetting these children? Why are they allowed to be forgotten, you know, and just thrown away?
Yeah, it's always been about the children.
Always.
From day one.
Okay. And you know, I want to thank you so much, girls, and best wishes to you. And I'm going to tell the viewers about our upcoming shows with Vanessa. And girls, thank you so much. And then you formed. Oh my gosh, I'm going to show the picture. Yes.
Threefold Paranormal Investigations.
Yes.
We formed a team.
Awesome. Do you
We're
have
not done.
Yes, awesome. So I
wanna apologize if you guys can't see me well. I don't know what's going on. I usually don't have these problems, so I just want to apologize for that.
we accept it. Let's see. I was going to say something to you guys, but anyway, I wish you a lot of. What other famous cases are you guys going to start doing together?
Well, right now we have to finish this case, and we're putting all of our energy and everything into this, and we'll go from there. Whatever happens, right? Right, girls?
Have a couple of ideas.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah. Have a couple of ideas, possible locations. I got an idea from anonymous source about another area to look at up there for a different case. And so you might, the beginning of spring next year, maybe see us three up there again.
Well, if you do, I'll come back on my show.
Yeah.
Okay? And bring your EVPs. We need to hear those EVPs. The viewers love them.
Absolutely.
And will the documentary be available for purchase, they ask?
What, darling?
Well, the documentary, of course, will be able to purchase that as well, right?
It'll be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to put it up for purchase?
We will. Once everything is put together, we will see how that goes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
will be available for people,
Oh.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, ladies. I love you guys, and thank you. I'm honored to have you on my show. Thank you. Have best
Thank you
wishes
so much.
to you.
Thank you.
And I'll be in
Bye.
touch with you. Thank you. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Awesome. Oh my God. I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. They were wonderful. Okay. Oh my God. There's so many shows coming up. I've got a couple of shows with Vanessa. We're going to do ghost pictures again. And we are going to air a show on David Pilati's 411 Missing People. And we're going to take some of his cases, and Vanessa's going to do her remote viewing to let us know, or to tell the viewers and all of us, what really happened to those 411 missing people, and we'll pick out certain cases. Jeff Mudgett is coming on the show. You all know who Jeff Mudgett is. He's on the History Channel. I've done 3 shows with him. I originally aired a show with him on his book called Bloodstains on H.H. Holmes, and I want to tell you about that video. If you can go back into my videos and find the one I did, it's called H.H. Holmes, and it was, I believe I aired it in 2011. I want to tell you something. You will hear Jeff, and you know, in those days, video live streaming is not what it is today. It was terrible, and that was my that was all new. Live streaming was all new, and I had a terrible time with that live stream. It was awful, but it was the best I could do at that time. But anyway, on that show that I did, it's in part 1 and part 2. Jeff Mudgett talks about things on that video that he will not talk about today. So that is really a treasure. That interview I did with Jeff Mudgett. I did a second show with him when I was on another network, and he would not talk about those things. So if you can find that video that I did in 2011 with Jeff Mudgett, H.H. Holmes, you'll hear information that he will not talk about today. But he's coming back to the show, and we're going to talk about the DNA, and we're going to talk about the History Channel and what's going on with all that's going on with H.H. Holmes. Next week, I'm airing a show with Kristen Lee, who is the owner of the Blair House, the haunted Blair House. Well, guess what? Did you know that she is a witch? She is a high priestess for the ancient, the ancient organization of the ancient Princess Diana organization. No, ancient. Oh my God, I can't even think. I don't have my calendar with me, so I can't. She's a high priestess for this Temple of Diana. It's an ancient organization. Anyway, she's coming on the show next Thursday. But guess what? A surgeon contacted me. He wrote a book about people near death, people who were dying on the operating table, and all the paranormal experiences he's had. And he contacted me and asked if he could be on the show. He just wrote this book, and so yes, I'm going to have him on the show. I've got some fabulous shows coming up. I'm really excited about that. All right, so let's do some quick shout outs because I have to go. Time is, oh my gosh, it's 7:15 already. All right, let's do some fast shout outs. I want to thank Royce Hinman, my mod, and Unique Annie for being our mods tonight. It's because of them that we have a fabulous chat room. And don't forget to please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Oh, the Temple of Artemis. Royce, I thought she was the temple of, the ancient temple of Diana. I looked up her website that she has. Anyway, let's do some shout outs. Charlotte Amatha, Jenna Bernardo, Lynn Flygirl, oh, wait a minute, Mike, Haunted Roads Media. Oh, Mike Ricksecker, he's Haunted Roads Media, and Royce, put up there, or Mike, you can. Vanessa is co-host with Mike Ricksecker, Haunted Roads Media. Down the Rabbit Hole, I think, Mike. It's an awesome show. They do a live broadcast on Tuesday nights. Please check it out. Mike, put in your channel so people can check you out. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Zoe Small, A2, Michael Kane, love you, Michael. Paraprincess Patricia, Tammy Heitzman. Jamie Lynn, Janet Wolf, Jessica Luna, Zoe Small, Andrew Cox was in, Jamie Vapes, Nebet Seta, and I know Carl White's out there. I know you're out there, Carl. Miller, Super Onion Master, and I think Gacy was in earlier. Andrew Cox, hi honey, Jessica Luna. Jay Groden 02, Clarinot, Tasha Mott, Zippy Davis. Thanks, Zippy. Find me on Facebook, honey. Find me on Facebook. Texas Nancy, Aether Shadow. There you are, Carl. I knew you'd be there. BCH Bounds, Astral Virgin, Kathy Salento, Quinlan 00, Bethany Warner, Misty Dawn, hi Misty, Nicole Lerner, Darneka Maddox, Andrew, Aaron Brody, hi, Diane Hilbert, Michael Kane. Okay, wait a minute. What is it? Edge of the Rabbit Hole on Haunted Roads Media Channel. And please check them out. It's Tuesday nights, I believe. Great show. They have a great discussion on that show. Maria, Sandra Amador, anybody else? We had a big crowd tonight. Rufus Torres. Joanne Gray, Miller, anybody else? Chippa. Yes, Misty Dawn, honey, I did. Fungi. Anyway, I got some great shows. Beyond Perception Investigations. Anybody else want to shout out? Hugs to everybody. Kathy P., Brian Wayne. Dazzling Latte. Yes, Mike's show rocks. You're absolutely right. Anybody? Okay, so everybody, I want you all to have a great weekend. Mine starts tomorrow. Jamie Lynn. Okay. Anybody else want to shout out Lenora Martinez before I stop the show? Hi, Chippa. Anyway, thank you so much, and I love you guys. Group hug to everybody. Thanks for joining me. I love doing these shows. I love when you guys show up. I love it. Jason Magugat. So have a great weekend. It's been so hot here. It's unbelievable. So everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you next Thursday with, is it August 3rd? It's August 3rd. Isn't it next Thursday? Yeah, I think so. Unique Annie. All right, so Unique Annie, Royce Hinman, my mods, love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you August 3rd for the next show. Don't forget, you can sign up for show reminders at ParanormalZone.tv, and there's a little tab that says show reminders. I'm still trying to work on a website. I don't know, I never seem to have much time and much luck. And Mike, too, you have a great weekend. Okay, everybody, love you, and I will see you on August 3rd. Love you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Love you.